Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
We're fucking back Saturday night, bringing you the Believe You Me podcast. Mr. Bisping, how are you doing, my friend? Well, Saturday afternoon for you.
Yeah, I was going to say Saturday afternoon. Big day of combat sports, whichever way you look at it. I was watching the UFC event from Prague. I'm now currently missing. I was watching James DeGale versus Chris Eubank Jr. I know you don't know anything about the sweet science, Lewis, but that's a pretty big all UK boxing affair happening right now. Right now, I'm watching it in there. My dad's in there. Mr. Jan Bisping Sr. still in the house. We were
he's home.
Bakersfield. Yeah, he's been here for about a week. Flies home tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he came in town to watch Callum at the state finals. Made it all the way to this, the wrestling state finals in Bakersfield, California. We got back from there yesterday. As I said, lots of combat sports. I'm very good, Lewis. I'm very good. I'm a little annoyed. I was telling you earlier, I fly to Hawaii tomorrow to film an acting thing, which I've been working hard on that side of things. And due to UFC obligations, being the professional that I am, the dependable employee, Mr. I don't cancel on shit, I had to turn down yet another acting role. I mean, I'm just inundated with work, Lewis. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, Jesus Christ, so many offers. My agent's like, no. He's not really. I wish that was the reality.
Yeah.
But one came in a very lucrative show, and I was excited to do it. But, obligations. That's called being a professional, Lewis. Other people wouldn't do that.
It's called that. It's a good problem to have. I mean, the amount of opportunities that are piling up, you have to keep on turning down, any one of these opportunities would be a dream for some people. Acting on a major television show, being a UFC commentator, a celebrity personality, ambassador for the sport. I mean, Jesus Christ, Michael Bisping. What a life.
Hosting our own show at the Great Hall in Toronto, March 10th. Tickets almost sold out. Wow. Go to Ticketmaster.com. If you want the best Sunday night's entertainment experience in your life on Sunday, March 10th in Toronto, go to Ticketmaster.com. Buy a ticket for crying out loud.
How can you say that with a straight face to these people? We don't know what's going to happen. We have no...
Hey, if I'm there, it's going to be good. Trust me, okay, Lewis? Okay? You wash your mouth out with soapy water. Sorry, you and your bloody little weirdos from the bloody Believe You, the Legion of Skanks and Realize podcasts. Don't start insulting my work. I've even started. You haven't seen what I'm going to bring to the table.
I'm not insulting your work. First of all, I'm just saying we are very real. One of the reason that people enjoy us, because we kid. Obviously, all of these amazing opportunities. It's great. You work very hard for these opportunities. You know, nothing is really given to you. But one of the things that we have not worked very hard on just yet is this show. We have to still put together. No.
Hey, go fuck yourself for one. Again, certain things don't have to be on the show. Secondly, this is my life's work. That is the show, my life's work, the life and times of Michael Bisping, anecdote after anecdote, hilarious encounters that I find myself in, all ushered along by the smooth hosting skills of Luis J. Gomez. We haven't worked on it. It ain't no bullshit, bro. I don't know if you know this. I won the world title in 10 days' notice after filming a movie. There's a lot of good stories there. My daddy sat in the other room. He thinks it's hilarious the time when he picked me up and slammed my head into a washing machine and split my head open. There's anecdotes. There's anecdotes for days from when I was 4 years old up until yesterday in Bakersfield. There's always something. I can't even go to the corner shop to buy a pint of milk without coming back with a hilarious anecdote. So you might need to sit and plan and figure it out, Lewis, but do not hold me to the same level of showmanship that you hold yourself to.
It's very funny because I thought you were going to say, I won the title on 10 days' notice. Do you think I can't plan a one-man show on 2 weeks' notice? That was just another one of your anecdotes.
That would have been a better line, though. But
Yeah.
that is true. I won a world title having not trained for 10 days. For a long time on 10 days. I've got 2 weeks, Lewis. Jesus Christ. I mean, all I've got to do in between is multiple podcasts, fly to Hawaii tomorrow, fly back from Hawaii, go to Vegas to film On the Line, come home back to Orange County, spend the day with the family, then fly back to Vegas on my 40th birthday, work as an analyst for UFC 235, John Jones versus Anthony Smith, Tyron Woodley, then fly back, then fly to Wichita, do the same thing for UFC, podcasts, auditions, meetings, all in between. I'm very free, Lewis.
And write a one-man show. It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal at all. Trust me.
I have a question.
Trust me. We're good.
Is this an
ahead.
all-age show?
I mean, yeah, if you're the type of parent that I am, where you realize that there is swear words in the world, and you try and raise your children to hear things but not repeat. Okay, you can't hold children back in this world from swearing. You can't cover them and shroud them from the real world that there is swearing. They're going to hear swear words. Every little kid is on YouTube. Those little fuckers on YouTube don't think they're above dropping F-bombs, Lewis, because I hear them in the background. And then Lucas is like, oh, no, and he I'm like, it's fine, son. Just don't use them. Just don't use them. So if you're one of those guys, bring your kids. Go ahead, Lewis.
My son, he's 6 now, and he's tricky. Like, he likes to curse. He's not allowed to. Like, we never let him. But what he does is any opportunity for him to ask a question about a curse word, he'll do that. You know,
what does cunt mean?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, Dad, why does mom's cunt smell so bad?
Exactly. Just go straight in at the deep end. Mom, what does go fuck yourself mean? James, come and get your dinner. Go fuck yourself. I don't know what it means.
Yeah. I try not. I don't really care about like sheltering him, but I am much more of a pussy than I would have thought with like being a parent, because my mom didn't care at all about like what I watched, and I'm very much like, I'm just kind of a pussy when it comes to it. Like, I don't really let my kids see violent things. I don't really let them see like,
Define violent things. UFC?
Well, I mean, I watched UFC with him today, actually. We watched the fights.
Action movies?
He's been really into the fights lately. I was showing him your fights. I actually sent you a video of him watching your fights, because he doesn't get it. We wrestle a lot, and now he wants to like punch and kick when we wrestle. I'm like, James, you're just fighting me. This isn't wrestling. This isn't cute. This isn't like emulating anything else. He throws full on like, real punches, and I want him to start understanding what it is. So I was showing him some of your fights, and he's fucking so impressed. So impressed. So I'll show him.
So what you're saying is that your son looks at me more and looks up to me and is more impressed than he does to you. Well, he looks at you and he just sees Lewis. When he looks at me, he's like, wow, that guy's incredible. Like I want to be like that guy someday. All dad does is bully Harrington.
I showed him, I just show him your losses, and then I show him my one win. So, I mean, look, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I was like, look, Michael Bisping, he's very tough, but, I'm undefeated, James.
He gets his ass kicked a lot. That's why he's tough. To keep coming back in there after all those ass kickings, that takes a real man, son. Hey, you think that's fucking easy? Walking in there time and time again after you're getting your fucking ass kicked? And I will say this, and obviously I'm joking there, but I do think that like some fighters that have these ridiculously long losing records where they're losing 5, 6, 7 fights in a row, I think, wow. I mean, a lot of people think this guy sucks. I think the exact opposite, because it really does take a lot of balls to step in there. When every time you go in there, you get the shit kicked out of you, you get humiliated, all your friends and family come and watch, and it doesn't go your way, and you're going to continue to do that. That takes a very, very special or stupid type of person.
You're right. I respect that guy way more than the guy who keeps on winning. The guy who just gets his ass kicked. Wasn't there a guy who like never won a fight?
It's just another perspective.
Wasn't there a famous guy who like had like 50 losses in a row? I forget. There's like a guy a while ago who he just kept on fighting, kept on losing. He sort of became famous for losing over and over and over again. I mean, there's something about it. Like,
I think he's called Your Next Opponent on Ellis Mania. A fight that you may be able to win.
Maybe, possibly.
All right. So listen, you wanna pull the veil back, as you say, and make a fool and berate and undermine my one-man show before it's even happened, you son of a bitch cocksucker. Well, then let's do the same to you.
I'm part of it. What are you talking about?
I know you are. That's what I'm saying. It's like we're going there together. Don't fucking slag it off before it even happened. If it's terrible, it's terrible, but it won't be. But that might make it more fun. But hold on. See, you're going to open that mouth that you've probably been shoveling food into. Are you still body beasting, Lewis?
Yeah, I'm body beasting. You know, fucking body beasting. You know.
So Lewis wanted to talk about this whole Jussie Smollet thing, okay? And if you're listening in England and you don't know about it, the actor, he's an actor from a TV show. I think it's Power. And
Empire.
Fake Empire, pardon me. And I didn't want to talk about it, A, because it's kind of an explosive thing to talk about it, and B, even though he did just get charged or taken into police custody for questioning about it, I kind of feel like it has been going on for a while and it was old news. But so now, Lewis, the floor is yours.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wanted to bring it up because, number one, we didn't talk about it, and I didn't really want to talk about it before this anyway. It's been out for a few weeks now. If you guys don't know what happened, this guy, Jussie Smollett, the story was he was out late at night, 2 o'clock in the morning in Chicago, and two guys wearing ski masks jumped him while calling him...
Hold on. And Make America Great hats again.
Yeah.
You got to mention that because that is a key part of the narrative that he was trying to put out there.
Yeah. So these guys jumped him, called him the N-word, the F-word, for gays. And they jumped him apparently, or allegedly jumped him. And one of them said, "This is MAGA country." You know, that's Trump's slogan. So this story comes out, and right away, I guess there was questions on whether or not this was true because I guess 45 minutes later, the cops show up and he was very elusive. He wouldn't give them his phone. He still had another part of the story, which I don't know if you heard this part, Bisping, but they threw a noose around his neck. And
yes. And then poured bleach on him.
So this is it's a very kind of a crazy story. 2 o'clock in the morning during a polar vortex, negative 30 degrees outside, freezing cold in Chicago. Kind of a crazy out there thing to happen. The cops, they didn't really believe it right away, and it immediately sort of divided everybody. People were like, "How do you not believe this? How do you even call it an alleged attack?" Celebrities were coming out in this guy's defense. So shoot ahead a few weeks later, they find the guys that did it. Turns out, this is all alleged as well, Jussie Smollett hired two actors that he knew, two big, gigantic, muscly fucking African guys. They look like Ngannou. They literally both look like Ngannou. They're huge. And he paid these guys $3,500 to fake this attack to basically raise his profile. You saw what happened with, Colin Kaepernick. He's a hero in this community, and he was sort of trying to push himself, or, was apparently. What was that?
See why I didn't want to talk about this? I know about this. I find it to be a fascinating story, but just you recapping for the people that haven't seen it, when I guarantee everyone has seen it, is already making me want to pull my fucking
You
hair
told
out.
me to recap it, you cocksucker.
I'm like, go ahead. Hey, is Harrington in studio today?
Yeah.
I've just sent him and you a hilarious video of Jussie Smollett and his attackers rehearsing the attack.
Let me see.
Can we play it on air? Because it's very, very funny.
If you sent it via text, it's going to be a process because obviously he doesn't.
Okay, you want me to email it?
Well, he can email it.
How do you want
himself.
me to do this?
Let him do it. Talk to me.
Yeah.
Instead of starting to text while I'm in the middle of the reason you're not interested in what I'm saying is because you're literally not paying attention, you cocksucker.
I have heard it. The whole world's heard it, okay? Listen, this guy, Jussie Smollett, I don't know what he was trying to achieve. He was obviously pulling on the emotional heartstrings of... because there was a massive outpour from Hollywood in support of this guy. They're like, oh my God, what a terrible world we live in. These Trump supporters are awful. And by the way, I'm not a Trump supporter, but let's not get political. But still, I'm just saying. But there was this massive outpour of sympathy and people asking what is wrong with the country and what a sad state of affairs. And this guy was manipulating the racial and social and political tension in this country for his own benefit, which is a disgusting thing to do. And of course, putting the noose around his neck and the bleach and the N-word and the MAGA hat, he nailed everything. He really did. I mean, listen, good job, but you went a little too far. You know what I mean? Because it's like you just went too far, buddy. The bleach, just have him have the hat on and beat you up or something.
Dude, it's so cringy.
Or maybe not the hat, the noose or something. But I tell you what. Oh, here we go. Let's just have a look. This is them rehearsing it. Go ahead, turn it up, Harrington. You never have the.
Oh my goodness, is that him? Do we have to go now?
Right now. Hurry up.
Aren't you the man from the Empire Show? That movie?
Yes. Got a problem?
Yeah. Why do you doing around here?
Guys, come on. The accent. More white, more racist, hillbilly. KKK.
Okay. Hey, nigger, stop right there.
What are you doing in our town?
Aren't you that nigger from Empire?
Yes, I am. I'm the gay Tupac. What's good? What's good?
Nigger, what the hell you doing over here?
Get more aggressive, more aggressive. Oh, shit. Wrap rope around his neck. Let me fight back a little bit. Let me fight back.
All right. Ow, that hurt, nigga. What the hell you do? More bleach on his nigger ass.
I'm gonna get the water. Hurry up.
Hurry up.
Please stop doing it, please.
This is MAGA's country now, nigger.
You don't belong here. We don't like
your
Oh, God. Anyway, there you go.
Who is that? Michael Rappaport posted that?
That is Michael Rappaport. That is absolutely hilarious, So if you don't follow Michael Rappaport, give him a follow because he is a funny mother effer. Harrington, all I see is the hilarious video that I sent. And there we go. I am back. He just went too far, man. He just went too far. But I will tell you this. Talk about backfiring because he had a good life. He was a successful actor on a good show. Who the fuck is going to hire him again?
It's over. It is over. One stupid thing. No matter how his life was so good. Maybe it's not the best. Maybe he wanted more money from Empire and more money from Fox. Maybe he wanted, things were unfair. I don't know what was going on. But you went from being a good-looking, legitimate star who's on the rise, releasing albums on multiple TV shows, to being somebody who is, a criminal, like legitimately in jail, might even actually do real jail time, but at the worst case or best case scenario, gets out, doesn't do any jail time, but your career is over and you're a laughing stock.
Oh, 100%. I think, they're saying he could do 3 years in prison plus a hefty fine. I'd be very surprised if a judge didn't. I'm not a lawyer, of course. I know that surprises you. I'm very, very intelligent and very well read and well spoken. And so you could be forgiven for thinking that I am a trained legal professional. However, I am not. But that said, in my esteemed opinion, I feel that the judge would want to send an example of this guy, make an example to stop this kind of thing from happening. So a slap on the wrist, I don't feel he will get. I think he'll serve some jail time. And as you said, even if he doesn't, honestly, even if he just wanted to go get a regular job, nothing to do with acting or singing, because for one, his entertainment career is over.
It's over.
It is over. You can kiss goodbye to that. And so I don't know. A little piece of me, I actually feel sorry for the guy. He's obviously very confused and he made a bad decision, but it was a terrible thing. So he deserves what he's got coming to him. But I do feel sorry. But he's not even going to be able to go get a regular job, not for a long time. I think he'd have to leave the country because anywhere you go and you're applying for a job, you're like, I'm not going to give you employment. You are a liar. You are an evil, vicious liar that will concoct a story like this for your own benefit. So you're not working here because if there's money on the table, I don't know if I can trust you to not steal it. I can't trust you to not make up lies against the other employees. So this guy just made a monumental fuck up of the highest degree.
Yeah, I'm looking at his career right now. First of all, I didn't even realize this. He's a little black kid in the Mighty Ducks. That's crazy.
Never seen the Mighty Ducks.
That's crazy. Yeah, you never seen the Mighty Ducks? What? What?
I don't watch children's movies about fucking hockey. Whilst I look the whitest of whites right now, because I have the sun shining through the windows, I don't watch Disney movies.
Yeah.
1. 2, I'm English. I'm not a hockey fan. 3, that's a movie from like the 90s.
I just feel like you were a kid when it came out, so it would have been a movie it was appropriate in 1992 when it came out when you were 12 to see the Mighty Ducks. It wasn't that crazy.
Let me tell you this. When I walked in from school, in my day, there was like an hour of children's programs on the TV. And Mrs. Bisping would sit there with the remote in her hand. And we were not allowed to watch any fucking children's programs. And I would steal the remote. And she's got a bad leg. She had polio, God bless her. So she can't walk too well. I would steal the remote, change the channel, and then throw the remote back at her. And she couldn't get up. So I'd use my thumb and cover the bit on the TV. You know, and she would sit there and throw shoes at me and hit me with the heel of the shoe on purpose. So, no, Lewis, I didn't see the fucking Mighty Ducks in my house growing up.
Write it down. Anecdote. Opening anecdote for the show. I love it. That's it.
There we go. Work in progress, baby.
Ah, shit.
All right, guys, let's take a quick second to hear from the one and only BetDSI.com. You know who they are if you listen to the show. BetDSI have been in business. They are a sports betting, gambling platform that have been in business, as I say, over 20 years. A great customer service, 24/7, 365. They have 5-star review ratings. I mean, they've built a history on fast payments of cash winnings. And if you want to bet on sports, predominantly MMA, which is what we talk about on this show, of course, there's a big fight this weekend. Anthony Smith taking on possibly the greatest of all time, John Jones. Anthony Smith is a massive underdog. And if you go to betdsi.com and put some money on whoever you want, but I'd say have a little flutter on Anthony Smith. Friend of the show, came in. He's a huge underdog. I think the biggest underdog in MMA history, or certainly the UFC's history. Yeah, he is. I was speaking to the UFC brass about this. So let's not open a whole...
Plus 579 on betdsi.com right now.
Plus 579. I mean, I could personally name a crazier underdog.
All right. Well, whatever. Okay. It's hyperbole, Lewis. It's hype. Okay. And BetDSI have a fantastic offer. They will give you a 60% bonus cash match. So if you put $100 on Anthony Smith, it will become $160. If you put $1, which is like a Luis J. Gomez type bet, it'll become $1.60. Okay, Lewis, tell them about the offer. Tell them how they get involved, please.
If you use the promo code BYM120, okay, that first of all, just use that no matter what. Okay, that lets BetDSI know that we sent you there. It really helps out the show. They've been on the show for at least a year now, and they really love you guys. You guys go there so often. It's incredible. So I appreciate you guys doing that to begin with. If you guys opt in for that bonus, just understand something. If you opt in for that bonus, there is a rollover for that bonus, meaning that you have to gamble a certain amount of times with that bonus money before you can actually draw it out. So just be aware of that before you opt in for any extra bonuses. Either way, use the promo code BYM120. You get 60% up to $1,000 if you decide to opt in for that bonus, and enjoy the fights. All right, where were we? So,
listen, if you're Jussie Smollet, you're fucked.
It's over. It's over. What could he do? He could maybe do stand-up comedy. I think stand-up comedy is enough of a shit job that, like, even if you have a fall from grace, you can sort of jump into that.
Who's going to support that guy by going to watch his show? In all honesty, I'm sorry. That is a level. That's a low level move to use political tension, racism to use. And you're
racism with the noose as well, where it's like really disrespectful to black people.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. So white people, he's going to offend, white people because, obviously the play was that, white people were beating him up and pouring bleach on him and wearing the MAGA hats. Black people, he's taken real sad things that have happened to them. I mean, look at what used to happen to them with the Ku Klux Klan and things like that back in the day. And he's making light of those atrocities, what happened, for his own benefit. So his own people are going to, really turn against him. I mean, this guy's got nowhere to go. He's got nowhere to go. And I'm sorry, Jussie Smollet, because I'm not trying to rain on your parade. I'm not trying to make things worse. I'm really not. You got enough bad things going on. But guess what? And I'm sorry. I don't pull no punches, Lewis. Shame Bell.
Shame on Jussie Smollett.
Your
That's
day
it.
just
Wow.
got a lot worse.
Wow. You think that, you know what? You think you couldn't have piled on anymore. Just when he thinks it couldn't get any worse, it couldn't get any lower. Jussie Smollett, this week's recipient of the Michael Bisping Believe in Me podcast, Shame Bell.
Every major news outlet Monday morning will be like, it just keeps getting worse for Jussie Smollett. He got the fucking shame bell at the weekend.
And I thought he was
deal with it, bro.
I thought he was younger too. He's 36 years old. He's my age. I thought he was like 23. And in like my head, when like a 23-year-old in Hollywood who's been an actor since he was a kid, they don't really grow up. So in a weird way, I give them a little more room to fuck up. I remember the story about Justin Bieber throwing eggs at his neighbor's house. And people were like, what a piece of shit Justin Bieber is. Hold on. No, hold on.
You can't put them in the same bracket.
I'm not.
Justin
You're not listening.
Bieber is doing, well, I am listening. I'm listening intently. I'm staring at you. I'm watching and I'm listening. And I don't like either versions of this context. I don't like the watching and I don't like the listening. Body beast it some more and just turn on a bit of intelligence. You can't use bloody Justin Bieber smashing eggs against a neighbor's house, which, if his neighbor's a dick, is a pretty funny thing to do. I mean, who hasn't egged somebody at some point? I mean, he was a little young. Come on, you've thrown an egg at somebody, Lewis.
Of course.
Lewis, come on.
Well, no, the point that I'm making, though, is that he's a kid and he does stupid shit. So I almost like, obviously it's a much less horrible offense. I'm not comparing the offense. I'm just saying that people were freaking out about it. Like, oh my God, what a piece of shit this kid is. I'm going, yeah, he's a fucking kid. Obviously he's going to do stupid things. So with Jussie Smollett, if he was 22 years old, I look at him as probably having the mental capacity in Hollywood, a child actor of like a 12-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid. They don't really grow up. So I would give him the benefit of the doubt and go, yeah, dude, he really fucked up. He made a stupid decision, but he's really, really young. And young people do stupid things. He's 36 years old. He's not a kid. This is a fucking fully grown man.
Fully grown man that has to be held accountable for his actions. But I'll tell you where he's going to go, because he's backed into a corner, and this is the only way that he can defend himself. Excuse me, I'm trying not to burp viciously into the microphone. It wasn't easy, but that's the level of professionalism that I bring. I will suffer for this show. I needed to burp. I didn't do it. Howard Stern, he just burps all day. Shame on him. No, here's what he's going to say, because this is the only recourse that he has. Mental illness, severe depression, bipolar. He'll lean on something like that. He's going through a tough time. Yeah, he has a drug problem. Yeah. Alcohol. He was taking his prescription drugs and he combined it with alcohol. I didn't know what I was doing. I had a temporary loss of sanity. I guarantee, because apparently they found, Lewis is saying for the framing, they found receipts that he was even the one that went to the store and bought the fucking noose that was going to be put around his neck. They found it on his credit card receipt. Not the smartest guy.
He gave them a check. Say, listen, he paid them in fucking check.
I know. He paid the attackers with a check. It's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, listen, I'm a highfalutin actor these days. He's making us look bad. He's making us look like morons. I mean, I'm a Shakespearean trained actor, Lewis. My IQ is off the charts. This guy's representing my brand, my culture, and he's disrespecting it to the max. I mean, I can quote Shakespeare all day, bro. To be or not to be, that is the question with Jussie Smollett's career. To be or not to be.
He's trying to make me cry. Fuck him.
There you go. Is there anybody that's had has anybody come back from anything like this before? Mike Tyson went to jail for rape and currently has a podcast, one-man show. I mean, what do I'm just saying, like,
what do we have in common? We have a podcast. We have a one-man show.
And you went to jail.
I didn't go to jail for rape that time. I got away with it.
You didn't go to jail.
Very lucky. I was like, fuck, shit. I said, I dodged a bullet there. But me and Mike Tyson, we're homies, bro. I mean, what was the question you asked? Sorry.
Has anybody come back from anything like that before? I mean, Tyson is the one example of somebody.
I mean, Mel Gibson said some pretty anti-Semitic stuff that time when he was wasted. And that eventually got blown out, under the rug.
That's not
David Hasselhoff. It's not. I mean, this is uniquely bad. Unique New York-ly bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I mean, I guess. Oh, wait, who said peck of N-words? Who did?
Ooh. But
Mel
even still,
Gibson?
that's not bad. As you just said, that's just words, and of course, and here's my thing as well. I mean, I've said some words over the, since I've been in the spotlight that I should have chose more carefully, and because now I'm older and I'm more mature, because I'm not a racist, I'm not a homophobe or anything like that. But I've said a couple of, back in the day, I said a couple of words, nothing racist or anything like that. But I might have dropped a hard F once, and it didn't go down well. But where I come from, that word was used for wimp. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And it wasn't used for homophobic terms.
Well,
it wasn't. It was just to describe a wimp, and I said that, and I got a bit of hot water over it, which is deserving, because even though I don't mean it in that sense, you have to be smart enough to understand that word has very negative connotations and an impact to a certain group of people. So therefore, you have to be diligent enough and smart enough to know not to use those words, because even though you don't mean it a certain way, you got to be smart enough to know that you can't use that because it does cause offense.
Of course.
But also on the flip side, sticks and stones may break my bones. Words will never fucking hurt me, know? So that guy dropping the N-bomb frequently, whilst it's massively bad and it cannot be accepted, is not in the same category as this, I would say.
Yeah, no, I mean, not at all. And I mean, look, we all, I mean, look, I am a comedian who makes offensive jokes consistently. I mean, so you're never going to convince me that there's any words that are doing anything, anything more than, I just don't look at I don't look at words as being damaging. I think that words can be, what are you laughing about?
The reason I'm laughing at is because like we're both sitting there now. We sound like racist homophobes. That, oh yeah, I mean, we use words, but they're just words. They're just words. When obviously we're not at all. But I'm just saying, you could without context take what we're saying out of.
I don't think so at all. I mean, look, here's the thing. It's two different things.
I'm being funny, Lewis. I'm being silly. I know, Mr. Comedian. Fuck me. I can't have like a really serious discussion about this, because obviously the whole thing's ridiculous, and that guy deserves what's coming to him, and the general tone of the show is a little bit silly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. I mean, I agree with you, though. I'm just saying that I also don't judge people for saying certain words. I guess it depends on the context. I mean, I got into an argument recently with a guy, and in the moment of anger, I called him a faggot. Like, that was just, it spilled out of my mouth. And it's because, and just like you said, where you grew up, I grew up in upstate New York in a low-class environment, and when you got into a fight with another guy, that's just kind of what you called him. You call him a bitch, you call him that, and it's what you're trying to do in that moment is you're trying to hurt that person. I'm not trying to fucking be his friend. I'm trying to call him names that are hurtful. And, the reality is, there's no thought put into that. It's a moment where you kind of react. And I know what you're talking about as well, the time that it happened with you. You just, in a moment of anger, it spills out of your mouth. But I don't fault anybody for that. Just sort of making a mistake. You misspeak. You go, oh shit, I shouldn't have used that word. It's a different time. It's 2019. To be honest with you, it wasn't a big deal in 1996 when I was a kid. Nobody gave a fuck.
Nobody gave a fuck. They really didn't. Exactly. But we should know. We should know as smart, intelligent humans, to be a little more sensitive. But you're right, because when when your buttons are pushed and you're angry, that's when stuff like that comes out. So, but devil's advocate time, somebody that wanted to criticize us would say, ha, but when you're angry, your true feelings come out, just like idiots say. And this always grinds my gears. Oh, the truth comes out when you're drunk. No, it doesn't. I talk out my fucking ass when I'm hammered. Some days I wake up the next day, I'm like, what was I going on about? What have I promised? Holy shit. I've got texts going, are we still doing this? I'm like, no, bro, I was wasted. Okay. And I'm sorry. I got you all excited about something we're going to do together, but it's not going to happen, or a business thing or whatever. So yeah, anyway. So there.
Yeah. I mean, look, the Jussie Smollet thing, good for him. He has what's coming to. I think it's funny. It doesn't make me angry. I don't really give a shit. Even as a brown person, I'm not like, oh my god, he stirred up all. I'm like, it's just very funny.
So just to go back to what we're saying, wow. Release the hounds. Release the hounds. Rebecca? Seriously? My office after this. All right, guys, I just want to take a quick second to hear from Organifi. Organifi, a remarkable company, making it easier to get the essential nutrients that you need into your body. Okay, they have a variety of products, but one of my favorites is the green juice that they have. Listen, everybody knows you got to eat more fruits and vegetables. Now, they offer a variety of products. They have Organifi Turmeric Gold, which obviously is laced with the health benefits of turmeric, which are endless, but the green juice is the one that I love because everybody knows, as I said, you got to get more fruits and vegetables into your diet, and it's not always easy, especially when you're trying to cook. But if you put a little powder, a little spoonful of this green juice into your protein shake, into your water, however you want to ingest it. I mean, just pour the powder into your mouth and eat it that way if you want. You might look a little weird and it won't go down very well. I suggest putting it in a protein shake. You don't taste it. It actually tastes very, very good. And you're getting all the benefits of a number of plants. It's so many green vegetables, Lewis.
Yeah, I love it. I don't have time to juice. If you ever do any juicing, it takes an insane amount of time. I do it with water. I straight up do it with 8 ounces, 10 ounces of water. I take 1 scoop of the green juice. I throw it in there. It's all of these amazing superfoods. You get the power of ashwagandha, turmeric, wheatgrass, beets, matcha, green tea, chlorella, mint, moringa. I mean, I'm the type of guy, I'm not going to get this stuff. As I'm getting older, I got a fucking child. I'm trying to live to see my kid graduate college. This is a super quick way. It's really delicious as well. I'm just not a guy. I would never take a shot of wheatgrass. That kind of grosses me out. It's so amazing. I drink it nice in the morning. It's become part of my daily routine now. I love the green juice. The red juice is great. The Organifi Gold is incredible. All of the products are great. And we give you a pretty amazing discount, Mr. Bisping.
Oh, yes, we do. So if you want to get involved, if you want to extend your life, you want to make it easier, basically, to get those nutrients that we all need. Your body needs them. It's crying out for them. And some people, listen, we get it. If you're working, trying to get a healthy diet, it's hard, especially if you're on the road. When I travel, I'm on a plane nearly every week these days, Lewis. Drives me crazy. I throw a few sachets in my bag and I mix it with water just like you do. If you want to get involved, you want to give it a try, which I highly recommend. Listen, I know we mess around on this show. We fuck about big time, but trust me, this is a wise investment. And of course, as Louis said, we got a great deal. Go to Organifi.com. Organifi. Organifi. Organifi.com. Use the promo code BELIEVE and you get 20% off your entire order. Again, that's Organifi.com. Promo code BELIEVE. You get 20% off. As I say, listen, yeah, they're sponsoring the show, but I love this brand. I love this product. There's no bullshit in what we're telling you here, guys. We don't lie to our followers. Organifi.com. Believe for 20% off. All right, guys. Where were we? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, no, my dad's here for a week. And we're talking about times when, me and you were a similar age. I'm a little bit older, smarter, more mature, wiser, definitely better looking, more sophisticated and all that stuff. But other than that, pretty similar. And I picked my dad up and we were talking and I had to correct him because he was describing black people as colored, right? And I said, Dad, you can't say that. I said, especially out here in America. I said, please don't let us be sat at a fucking restaurant and you're describing people as colored. I said, you can't say that. He's like, what? Of course you can. You can't. What am I meant to call them? I said, well, you call them black. He said, oh, that's fucking worse. That's fucking worse. I can't say he's black. What if he's brown? He's colored. I'm like, Dad, no, listen. You can't say that. So that, it's just an example of how times are changing.
Yeah.
Times are changing.
Yeah.
I think that's a song.
Let's real quick, because we have to we're already half an hour into the show. The show's fucking just zipping by, Mr. Bisping.
Zippity zip zip.
Do we want to talk about the fights this afternoon in Prague at all? Do we care? You want just quick results really quick?
Yeah, we can say the results really fast. Jan Blachowicz taking on Thiago Santos in the main event. I believe it was a round 2, may have been round 3. I was watching. I got out of bed. I do like it when the fights are on a Sunday morning. Sorry, a Saturday morning, as opposed to the evening, because I get out of bed and I watch the news in the morning and the same fucking news just loops over and over. But I like to sit there and check my emails and have something on in the background, drink too much coffee like I typically do. And it's nice when the UFC's in Europe or somewhere else, because in the mornings now, I can watch fights. And the fights were good. They were entertaining. Main event, Jan Blachowicz, as I said, Thiago Santos. knockout win for Thiago Santos. Wasn't the most action-packed fight, but both guys had a lot of respect for one another. So they're being very tentative. Both guys have a lot of power. Jan Blachowicz is a big dude. Thiago Santos knocked out many people recently. So, excuse me. There it is. There it is. Got it up. Yeah, they were tentative, and rightly so. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying they were tentative because you got to be when you're with big guys that are swinging with those little gloves. But eventually, Thiago Santos found the mark. I think Blachowicz rushed in. It was a right hook, left hook, put him down, followed it up. Well done to him. Co-main event, Stefan Struve, the skyscraper, almost 7 foot, I believe. He's a very, very tall Dutchman. I know Stefan Struve, he submitted. I used to train with these people in the UK. Absolute idiots. And he submitted Tom Crybaby Blackledge, and he submitted Mario Bullshit Sukata with a triangle. And they're supposed to be 2 jiu-jitsu black belts. So that's how I knew him. And he came to the UFC. He had a decent career, Stefan Struve. And he retired tonight. He got the win. He got dropped with a right hand, went down, and just got smothered on the ground. Second round, he got the takedown, Stefan Struve, and he won by an arm triangle from the mount. And then he took his gloves off and retired in the center of the octagon. So on behalf of myself, Luis J. Gomez, everyone at the Gas Digital Studios, the Believe You Me podcast, and the legions of fans around the world, congratulations on a fantastic career, Stefan Struve. I tip my hat to you, and I wish him all the best. Because I don't know if you know, Luis, he had a lot of heart problems. He had some heart complications back in the day. He was meant to fight Matt Mitrione a couple of years ago. And in Vegas, he never walked out for the fight. He was having heart palpitations.
Yeah.
In the locker
I remember
room.
that.
Obviously, yeah.
He's so tall, and you would think that it has to do something with that, with just being such a big, tall guy. Is there anything about that? I know, really, do they have more health issues? I know basketball players, those really, really big guys, and also guys who guys who have the records for being the tallest or biggest. They always have shorter life expectancies.
It's called, and I'm no doctor, but I believe, as I told you, I'm not a trained lawyer, and I'm not a trained doctor, but I know both about legals and medicine.
You could do both if you wanted to.
You
won the fucking title on 10 days' notice. You think you couldn't get 8 years to become a lawyer?
You think I can't do a one-man show in 6 hours? Come on. On the plane from Wichita to Toronto, you think I can't write the show that we're going to do that night?
Easily.
Come on, bro.
Easily.
So, I believe it's called giganticism. Giganticism.
That's what you needed to be a doctor for giganticism. That was the word.
Google it. It is gigantic. If
I know.
You're a gigantic man, you have giganticism. It's a hard word to say. Maybe I'm not in the right business. Maybe no more podcasts. Giganticism. What is it? Say it.
Giganticism.
Gigantism.
Yeah, the voice of God. Giganticism. So am I correct? Am I correct? Because what happens is, Luis, much like large dogs, Great Danes, things of that nature, huge beasts die early. Okay. Antonio Bigfoot Silva, one example, had an overactive thyroid and pituitary gland. His body was secreting too much growth hormone into his system. Hence, he was a very, very big man, and he had some issues as well. And Stefan Struve, there you go. Again, another example. I have a friend of mine, though, Roy Hibbert, 2-time NBA All-Star, 7'2", absolute giant of a man, who wants to come on the podcast, by the way, so we'll do that soon. He's totally fine. So I don't think by being gigantic, you get giganticism, but you might do.
I think that is there anything to that, Harrington? Do larger people have less? Not
should we
fatter.
get him on the phone? Should we get Roy on the phone? And ask
sure. Be like, hey, are you dying of giganticism?
Hold on. I'm gonna share his number with you, Harrington.
No. Oh, I thought you were gonna say it. There's people listening.
No,
live
of course,
right now.
I'm not
Hold
going
on.
to
While
say
you're
it.
while you're doing that, let me take a moment, guys. If you love the show, go subscribe right now to our YouTube channel. The latest 15 episodes are available in SD on the YouTube channel. Just search Michael Bisping Podcast or Believe You Me Podcast on YouTube. We're now about to round 40,000 subscribers to the YouTube channel. We love you guys. We're going to start putting out more clips as well, more exclusive content on that YouTube channel. I know Harrington, we're going to start putting out just the interviews as well, take them out of the show. So more and more content coming to the YouTube channel as well. Go to our iTunes right now, subscribe on iTunes, leave us a 5-star ranking, positive review. We love reading the good reviews. We're going to be giving away a pair of gloves very soon for one reviewer. And if you guys...
No, not one reviewer. We're giving away multiple pairs of gloves. And you're absolutely right, Lewis. Thank you to everybody. We are growing massively and we appreciate it, and we do. And we love all the feedback that we get. And this show really is, we started off as just a bit of a laugh. I mean, I was like kind of like curious as to where it was going to go, but it's really built into something special. And I tell Lewis all the time, and we love doing the show and we love the feedback that we get. And Sanibel will be sending out several pairs of gloves because a lot of people say, hey, dipshit, Bisping, I put the fucking review, where's my gloves? Okay, so don't worry. Sanibel are not a cheap company. They will come through on their promise.
We got you, baby boys. Keep on reviewing. We love that. Also, if you love the show and you want to support us directly, you can get every episode we've ever done. 118 episodes now are available on demand at gasdigitalnetwork.com. You don't need to subscribe to watch the live stream. I know there was some confusion there. You guys can, every time we have a live show, just go to gasdigitalnetwork.com/live. But if you guys want the on-demand library, pre-release on the episodes, uncensored episodes, and ad-free episodes, use the promo code BYM. Get a 14-day free trial, plus have access to all the other shows on the network. I also want to say really quick, Mr. Bisping, a couple things. Number one, I have to promote my special. It's coming out April 1st.
Luis J. Gomez presents Luis J. Gomez. Now it's my turn. How unfunny and ill-prepared was this show? I mean, Jesus Christ, Lewis, what are you trying to do? Sell wolf tickets? Sell half a show that you haven't worked on? I mean, I've heard rumors. I've heard from Harrington. I've heard everybody. It sucks. Everybody, this show sucks. Don't watch it. Go ahead, plug it.
I want you guys to see the insecurity on Michael Bisping right now. Every once in a while, he gets insecure. And this is the moment, I want everyone to point it out, this is the moment where we have Michael Bisping being insecure. I was not shitting on your show. I was simply shitting on our show and our process.
Our show. Oh, God. Exactly. Listen, no shitting of shows.
No, we're not shitting on shows. Actually, I was going to say what we should do in Toronto. We should talk about this off the show, but we should do a fucking run-through at a secret location, a little secondary, smaller run through of the show. We'll talk about it later.
We'll figure it out.
But April 1st, guys, everywhere you can get a comedy special. Luis J. Gomez presents Luis J. Gomez. I worked very, very hard on this. I love you guys for supporting the stand-up side as well. And we're talking about not only the Toronto show, but doing a UK tour where we start touring this all over the place. So a lot of good stuff happening.
Yeah, we're coming somewhere near you. We're going to be doing a tour in Australia, UK, US, all over the place. But of course, it all depends how it goes in Toronto and if anybody likes it and whatnot. And then we'll gauge from there. But I just spoke to Roy Hibbert. He is 7'2". He is a 2-time NBA All-Star. He's a very, very beautiful person. He's amazing. He's a great soul. And I can't say enough good things about him. He's a very good friend of mine. And he's also a investor and part owner of Playline. And Harrington, can we get him on the phone?
He's on right now, I believe.
Oh,
Mike.
Roy Hibbert, my man. What's up, buddy?
Hey, nothing much, man. It's great to hear your voice, you know?
I know.
Always a
we
pleasure
just
hearing your voice.
We only speak over WhatsApp, not even regular text, just WhatsApp. And it's always business stuff, but it's always nice to hear the voice of God. I mean, listen to this, Lewis. Just say something, boy. I mean, you have got a beautiful voice.
I think that Michael Bisping is the future of ESPN MMA announcing.
Well, you are very kind. You're on with my very good friend and co-host, Luis J. Gomez. So, Roy, I'll cut to the chase. I know you got the little man in the background. You're on babysitting duties.
Yeah.
So we won't take too much of your time. But we were just having a conversation about Stefan Struve. Do you know who that is? The tall guy.
I watched that fight.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And he
I watched
retired
his fight
today.
today.
Roy's a
Did you
massive
say
UFC
semi-retired?
No, I think he retired. He took his gloves off in the octagon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
we were talking about the heart problems that he had. And then Lewis asked
Yeah.
the question, what is it with tall people and often having like complications like that? And I said, I think they call it giganticism. And I said, hold on a minute. I'm very good friends with a fucking gigantic guy. Let's get him on the phone. And here you are. So no offense.
Yeah. Yeah, none taken. Only thing I would say to that, when I was a kid, I was when I was like 10 years old, I went from like 6'2" to 6'6", and I grew in like 1 year. And they had me tested for something called Marfan syndrome, where you like grow very fast at a young age and stuff like that. But they say a lot of times that the organs and everything stretch, and you could have issues with like your heart and everything like that. So I've always been cognizant of that. I don't have any. I'm lucky I don't have any of that.
So you were 6'6" when you were 10 years old.
Yes, like 10, 11 years old.
Wow. And I mean, at that point, I'm assuming that you were already playing basketball. You probably had every basketball coach in the county trying to get you, on that path, right?
Yeah, you could say that. My dad actually had to go to like the DMV and get me a ID because some teams didn't believe I was my age, so they wouldn't want to play us.
So 6'6" at 10 years old, Roy. How was that in school? I'm sorry, I hate to just go on about your height, whatever, but for most people, it's pretty spectacular. I mean, how was that with like the tough guys in the school? Were people trying to start shit with you or no?
No, everything was fine, but when you grow up and you're in school, people always joke on you. I grew up very like not having a lot of like money or anything like that, and my parents worked 2-3 jobs to put me through like a private school because public school is not great where I'm from, and so we had to wear uniforms, and my uniform was always like 4 inches, like too short, So I used to call me like I used to wear high waters and my stuff didn't fit. So that's probably the most joking I ever got when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Mike. Yeah, I apologize, but yeah, I mean that's such an intriguing story. When you were playing when you were a little kid, though, did you have to end up going into some sort of like thing with older kids, or were you just were you able to just take advantage of being 10 years old and that much larger than everybody? Because you got to be towering over everybody.
Yeah, I was towering over everybody. I played with the older kids. I used to play in this league where it's called the CYO, Catholic Youth League, and I was not good at basketball at a young age, but they used to have everybody had to play at least one quarter. So I would play the first quarter, and I wouldn't play the last 3 quarters. So I played 2 or 3 grades ahead and everything like that, though. So it was a learning experience. It was not fun at that time, but I got better and better.
Well, that's why you made it all the way to the NBA, Roy. That's why you got paid the big bucks. Last question on on your height before we move on. Whenever I'm with you,
yeah.
I was telling everybody listening, we're partners together in playland.com. We'll get to that in a second. But we'll be in Toronto or somewhere, and everybody that comes up to you, they always start, random strangers, with some stupid joke or, well, fuck me, you're tall. How's the weather up there? And you are always so gracious and so patient. For me, it started pissing me off after a while. Is there not a little part of you that sometimes just wants to roll your eyes and say, dude, leave me alone?
Yeah, for the most part, because some people say some obnoxious things, though. How many times am I going to hear, what's the air like up there? But it's kind of tough when, one time I was playing in Charlotte, and I'm leaving, we had to do physicals, before the season starts, and this woman, this mom and her daughter walked out, and then this kid, the girl said, "Mommy, there's a monster right there." And I was just like, oh, that was the most heartbreaking time. I was just like, I know it's a little kid, but at the same time, I'm just like, but that one hurts the most. But it's all right, though. I mean, just try to put on a good face because, in this day in social media, you say something obnoxious, you're going to be trending for a week or a week, and then, so I try to keep a positive spin on it.
Yeah, and kids are so brutally honest, so that's why it hurts that much more, because it was just the first thing that this little kid thought of. What about that? I mean, we've kind of run into this theme a lot on the show, and sort of I watch it happen with Michael. As we walk through Las Vegas, especially, or certain areas of Los Angeles, but a lot of people will approach him, and a lot of people will want to take pictures. Has there ever been a moment where you just had a lapse of judgment and you said, I'm just not in the mood? Or let me tell, because we always ask people kind of like what the best stories are. What's the worst story that you have from a time that a stranger came up to you and either said something rude or did something rude? Just tell me about the worst moment.
To tell you the truth, is like the toughest part is obviously like when you're at dinner with your family. You don't want to be. I don't want to be rude, but like as soon as I sit down, I'm ordering. People are like on the way out and leaving. They'll be like, "Can I get a picture?" And I'm just like, "I just sitting down. Is there any way I could take a picture with you like after I get done eating?" And people will just be like, "No, I'm leaving right now." And there's that awkward silence after that. I'm like, you have to get the point at some point, but sometimes they don't, But I can honestly say, like, I deal with that. I've been out with Mike a couple times, and there'll be some drunk people that want to, like, shadow box Mike and everything like that. And I got to tell those people, hey, just chill out, let the man be, because, Mike has a face that, like, once you see it, he's like an icon. He's like was the face of the UFC and everything like that, though. So I get very protective as well. And Mike gets protective of me as well. Mike knows about that time outside of the casino. We were for Playline when we had a meeting. Somebody said something, and Mike was not pleased with what they said to me.
I can't remember that, Roy. What was it?
The little girl called you a monster.
Oh, he just said like, he said I was like the third best center or something like that. He said something like
that's
that.
right.
Mike was.
Yeah, but what a dick thing to say. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you've achieved so much in your athletic career, and this asshole has to come over and say, you're the third best. And for everybody listening in the UK, most, I would say, all sports fans in the US know who you are, Roy. You had a legendary career in the NBA, two-time NBA All-Star, which is incredible. Now you're retired, Roy. How is retired life? Trying to explain to everybody listening. I mean, that must be a tough transition. Of course, I'm retired. We got the Playline stuff going on, which is very exciting. But how is retirement treating you?
Man, to tell you the truth, I have my son's 22 months old. I have another one on the way coming in August. So I'm very happy. I have some businesses that I deal with and everything like that. Obviously, Playline is one of them as well. I'm just happy to be home and not be, traveling 4 days out of the week. So I was able to see my son, take his first steps, say his first words, everything like that. So I'm appreciative of that as well, So yeah.
Well, that's good for you. Congratulations on the new kid coming up. I want to just take a second and just say, Mike, you got offended, because they called Roy the third best center in the NBA. I mean, there's 30 NBA teams. How many centers are on each team? You got, the starting centers. There's 2 or 3, right? That's out of 90 centers. I mean, it's a pretty good compliment if you really step back for a second, Mr. Bisping.
No, but the way that he said it and in the tone, it was fucking insulting, Roy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was insulting, though. It was. The way how he said it, though, but I'm just being nice right now. But I appreciate, Mike having my back, though.
Yeah, and for me, like, if somebody says something to me, then I can't say anything. You know what I mean? But I can seem like the hero because I'm defending Roy's honor, and I can get out my aggression that way. You know what I mean? All right. Well, listen, Roy. We were just talking about Stefan Struve, and then Louis started asking some questions, as I said. So I know you're with the little man. We got to get together for dinner soon. Much love.
For sure.
I couldn't say.
Hey, Mike, I got to interrupt. I wanted to say two last things. Can I say 2 last things?
Please.
I think Struve was at your fight where like when you fought GSP. I had a couple of drinks. I know he's a 7-footer, so I just went to the bathroom. I came out. He was sitting down. I knew who he was, and I was that guy. And I was like shadow boxing in front of him. I had a couple drinks. I embarrassed myself, and he just looked me up and down and was like, like basically like, get the hell away from me, asshole, and everything like that. So I want to apologize to him for that and everything like that, But yeah, I was just feeling myself that night. I knew he was another 7-footer. He kicked my ass. I understand that, but I was having fun. And the last thing I would say is, I want all the viewers to go out there to have a chance to see Mike, A Night with Michael Bisping in Toronto. What's the date, Mike?
March 10th. Thank you, brother.
March
Fuck
10th.
you, Lewis.
Whoever's listening in Toronto, March 10th, get your tickets. Go see this man. He is hilarious. One of the best guys, a good friend of mine, and everything like that. I'm doing a shameless plug for you, so you don't have to do it.
Hey, it's all welcome, my friend. Roy, we're going to do this again in person in the studio in LA, and we'll make a proper day of it, but we'll let you go. Much love, Roy. You are the effing man. Thanks for jumping on short notice.
I got you. Y'all have a nice day.
Later, brother.
Bye-bye.
Roy Hibbert, very cool, quite the gentleman, and apparently not a giant.
Dude, the guy's massive. He's massive, and he ain't just a tall person. But like when you get close to him, his neck and his legs and arms are just massive, But because he's so tall, you don't realize until you get close and you put your arm next to his, and you're like, this man is actually a giant. And also one of the nicest people he really is. I mean, he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. He's just the nicest, calmest. He's a gentleman. He's a beautiful person. He really is.
Yeah.
We're talking about all these tall people. My dad's in there. He's 6'6", so we could have just shouted my dad in, But there you go.
So look, we got to talk about
what
a couple
else?
things because my son is watching a movie in the lobby area right now. I'll get.
Hold on. What movie? What movie?
The Emperor's New Groove. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Oh,
It's a good one.
God.
It's not the
I
Mighty
thought it was gonna
Ducks.
be like-
Relax. It's not the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. Violence. You're not allowed to watch violence. I don't know who you're raising here, Lewis. You raising him in New York City. You're showing him all these cartoons, this cute, fluffy Disney world that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And then when he gets out there into the wide world, it's going to slap him in the face that there's pickpockets, there's rude people, people swear. You are not preparing him for the eventuality of real life.
You're right. You're probably right. But I was so overly prepared for the eventuality of real life that I'm like, you know what? Just let him be a fucking kid. Jesus Christ.
No, I know.
I know you're kidding, but it's just like, and it's very funny because I really do. I raise him like I'm some big city liberal mom. Look, I would never in a million years, all right, I'll give you an example. There was, someone was brought up about marriage, and I was telling him, well, if a man and a woman love each other, and I literally, without being goaded by some chick or some fucking blogger or some teacher, I was like, or a man and a woman and a woman. Like I explained to him that also happens sometimes, just unprompted though. It wasn't like anybody's pushing me into explaining that to him. It's just that's the reality of the world now. And I don't know. I just didn't think I would be that type of dad if you would have asked me 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember Rebecca was explaining to Lucas recently about relationships, and she was saying, and sometimes men are with men and women are with women, and that's totally fine as well.
It's hot when it's
Fortunately, I'm all for it. I'm Ellie, my daughter, if you want to be a lesbian, I sign off on it. Lucas, you're not being. I'm joking. Fortunately, when I said men on men, Lucas was like, that's not right, and I'm like, that's my guy.
That's what James said.
That's my boy.
He was like, that's weird, and I was like, right.
Yeah. Hey, we're treading carefully, Lewis. Don't step over the line. It's a
but why
fine
can't
line
you
that
say
we're
that?
treading.
Why can't you look?
I know.
I talk about this in my act. I'm very open-minded. I got gay friends. If my son was gay, I would love him. I mean, I would love him. There's nothing in the world my son could do. If my son became a serial killer, I would fucking love him and I would be at the jail every day with him. There's nothing that my kid could do that would make me not love him. I couldn't imagine it, But if I have to be honest.
Bundy. If James turned into Ted Bundy, and I recommend watching the Ted Bundy tapes. I just watched them on X-Files. Amazing view on X-Files, on Netflix. What am I saying? Amazing viewing. That guy was a sick, evil son of a bitch. So James turns in to Ted Bundy. You're still going to visit him every day like his weird mother. because Ted Bundy's had a weird mother that loves him. And I reckon she was up to no good. That's why he turned out that way. She was a sexual deviant.
Yeah, maybe.
So you wouldn't care.
It's not that I wouldn't care. I couldn't imagine myself.
You wouldn't care.
What about you? If Lucas ended up being a serial killer, could you imagine yourself not loving your son? I mean, no matter what it was,
No.
I would feel, I watched a TED Talk with the mom of one of the kids who shot up the school back in the day. Columbine shooting, right? And the mom did a TED Talk, and she really broke down. It was really interesting. I just watched like maybe the first 10 minutes of it.
What is a TED Talk?
It's one of those things where they speak. They have something interesting to say. So it's a lot of time. It could be anything from like a world leader to somebody who was involved in some sort of thing, and they basically speak to a large auditorium of people, and it's usually a worked out speech on something that's somewhat interesting. And hers was talking about being the mom of this kid who murdered a bunch of his classmates, and I would feel, one of the things she said was, she was like, I spent so much time going through every moment of my life trying to figure out where I did something wrong and where I went wrong, because I blamed myself for it. And I would assume there'd be a lot of that. Like, where the fuck did I go wrong that my kid ended up there? Which is what a responsible parent should say. But yeah, I couldn't imagine.
No, for sure.
I don't even know how we got here, but I couldn't imagine not loving my son.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, listen, love is unconditional. Certainly with your children. And I think, if we are talking about monstrosities of things like Ted Bundy, for crying out loud, talk about an extreme example, and now we're having to take it seriously and have a full-on discussion about our children becoming serial killers. Okay, all right. If my child became a serial killer, the child that nurtures caterpillars into butterflies, the child that is out there tending to his little garden, growing his limes, his cilantro, his strawberries, his tomatoes.
Maybe he is gay. I don't know. Are you sure he's not gay?
He's definitely a little bit gay. If he turned into a serial killer, of course I still love him. I'd be very, very disappointed. Of course you would, but you'd still love him. You would never be able to forgive what he did, but you'd still love him. Yeah. So anyway, there you go. For an MMA podcast, we're sure as hell breaking down a lot of fights.
I don't think we've even talked about what we do, like a minute of MMA talk. GSP retired. Yeah. You retired. By the way, Michael Bisping officially retired. George St. Pierre, guys. There we go.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Retiring motherfuckers.
He was in there and he took those right hands. It wobbled his brain. He went to the hospital. He had a brain scan.
I never
right before he choked. Right before he choked me out unconscious, he was in a bad way. And he was like,
is that what happened?
I don't want to go through this again. I do not want to experience the hardship of a fight with Michael Bisping ever again.
I thought you were doing some sort of weird, chin lock on his forearms. Am I wrong about that? I remember that you were doing sort of clamp down, trying to... It was a new technique.
I've spent a lot of time studying the martial arts, traveling and traversing the globe, finding the most powerful and unusual techniques. I remember I think it was backpacking across Southeast Asia, and I discovered this technique used by the ancient monks of Mount Hippatapapau. And yes, it appears from the outside you were being choked out, but in reality, it hurts the guy. I just want to say, yeah, exactly. No, I just want to say, listen, George St. Pierre, absolute legend of the sport, absolute legend. And God bless and good luck in everything that you do from here on out. I always said George St. Pierre was the person that a young fighter should model themselves on. They really should. Always striving to learn new training methods, training smart, fighting smart, professional in and out of the cage. Of course, I talked a ton of shit leading up to the fight because that's what you're going to do to make it interesting. But I had a lot of respect for GSP. And that's not to say I fabricated everything. I meant what I was saying to him at the time because we're going to fight. He thinks he can beat me. I take that personally. And had I not had a bad eye and broken ribs, I would have beat him. Okay? So you got lucky, George.
And your knee?
Bum knee, bum ribs, bum eye.
A lot of scar tissue.
My wrist. Look at that. Jesus Christ. It's amazing I even made it to the octagon.
Yeah. You're really pale
I'm
as
not,
well.
not to take anything away from George, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. But these are just facts.
Yeah, facts. Hold on, my son is freaking out. You can tell him to come in for a second. He's fine. You might have to put a
bring
different
him in.
TV.
Bring him in.
Might have to put a different TV show on for a second. Is Lucas around?
Lucas is around somewhere, but I feel like if they were to start interacting over the power of Skype, the quality of the podcast may take a hit.
What if it got better?
Yeah, I know. That's the worrying thing. There's a possibility. Lucas and his friend Lucas were upstairs in the bedroom making YouTube videos earlier. They're obsessed with becoming YouTube sensations. What a world we live in. That's what kids aspire to be these days. But how long have we been going for?
We're going a little over now.
So
we'll get some questions.
Let's do some questions and wrap it up, because I see James is probably going to start breaking things anytime soon. So without further ado, let's have question numero uno.
Yeah, I mean, Harrington, what the fuck is he doing out there? It's just crazy to me. It's just, it's always a whole other to do. It's just, come on.
Hold on. Harrington isn't to blame.
He
for
disappears.
your child
Crazy.
destroying the
He's
other
not
side of the
destroying
studio.
Come here,
I
James.
love the way that you blame Harrington.
No, Harrington disappeared
James?
4 minutes ago to. Hey, Bubba.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on, pal?
Oh, look at this guy. Hi, James. Open your headphones. You can't hear me.
Oh, wait, that's right. Here, we'll put headphones on. You want to say hi to Michael Bisping? Yeah. Here we go. Ready? Hold on. Is that good? Can you hear him?
Hey, James.
Hi.
Talk right there.
How are you, buddy?
Good.
How bad does your daddy smell today? Because often he smells bad. Does he smell bad today?
No.
Hey, come on. Don't tell lies.
That's right. Say. How do you think Michael Bisping smells?
How do you think?
No. How do you think he smells? I'm asking you.
I think he smells like garlic.
Probably. There's a good
You know why?
chance.
Why?
Because I'm the Count. I'm a vampire. And tonight, James,
But
I'm coming for you.
Uh-oh.
I'm coming for you, buddy. Don't turn those lights off.
Did you want to tell me you saw his fight, right?
what?
Did you see his fight?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was really good.
Yeah, he's tough, right?
Oh,
Who do you think's tougher?
did you see your dad's fight?
Yeah.
What did you think?
It was really good.
That's right.
Who do you think would win the fight?
Me or Michael Bisping? Who won the fight?
I can't think of it. I don't.
James, who would win in a frickin' fight?
Language, Lewis.
Um.
Tell the truth. God is
both
watching.
Of you, both of you.
A draw? That's actually probably true. It would probably be a split draw. Depending.
Oh my word!
Would you not?
I see the ability for not telling the truth. He has inherited from you, Lewis.
You do not manipulate my son, okay? He is supposed to think that I'm the toughest man in the world, and that's that. Right, James? I'm the toughest man in the world?
Yeah.
That's right, kiddo. I love you. All right, do me a favor.
Also the smelliest.
I'm also the smelliest. Harrington's going to go put a TV show on for you. We're going to be done in about 10 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I love you.
See you, buddy.
Say bye to Michael Bisping.
Bye.
Okay. Have fun,
What a
guys.
sweetheart.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Bless him. He's the cutest kid ever. He really is. Almost as cute as Lucas, but not
Almost.
quite. But,
Oh, we're just
All right,
both. I'm waiting for him to get old enough just so we could bring him in your backyard and have them fight. That's all I want to do.
yeah, you just totally set him and Lucas on one another. I'm like, listen, Lucas, he's younger than you, he's smaller than you, but he's from New York, the dirty fuck.
He's Puerto Rican. He's probably got a switchblade.
Puerto Rican. He's gonna bite you. He's gonna he's probably gonna grab your balls as well, and he'll enjoy it. He'll fucking enjoy it. He's Puerto Rican, Latino, and he's probably got diseases if he bites you. Make sure you get a good tetanus shot. We'll take the fucker out in the garden.
Smash cut 10 years later, Lucas and James are dating. We have to deal with that shit.
Exactly. Oh my god. Which I'd be totally fine with.
We're okay, obviously. We want them to be gay. Duh.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you want your kids to be gay?
It's great. It's better that way.
It's way better. No kids, anything like that.
Of course. Harrington, any questions? We got a video question? Anything? If you guys want to join the conversation, bympod@gmail.com is the email address. Shoot us an email. And if you have a video question, we'll answer it in the show. We'll try to get to it. Sometimes we do regular questions. Sometimes we do video questions. A lot of cool stuff happening. Also, guys, I'll tell you right now, we're going to be getting some new T-shirt designs coming out very soon. Mike, we have to approve these designs. We have a couple that came in, so I want to show you. If you guys want to grab some Believe You Me merchandise, that will be available in the next couple weeks. Some really, really cool stuff. So
it's about time. Gas Digital really dropping the ball there. Just saying. Honestly, it's a touchy subject. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I've been till I was blue in the face. I'm like, we need merchandise. We need cups. We need mouse mats. We need T-shirts, hoodies, and beanies. We have none of it. Okay.
Actually, we have all of those things, literally all of those things, but it's just with the logo. We want it to be nicer. We want it to be more stylish, cooler shit.
I haven't seen said designs. I haven't seen said mouse mats. If I knew there was a Believe You Me mouse mat, I would not be using a fake moon as a mouse mat. Okay.
Video questions, Harrington. Let's go. First one. Oh, this chick's
He's
hot.
young, so lay off Lewis.
What's up, Michael Bisping and Louis J. Gomez? I'm a big fan of both of you, and I love the show. I got two quick questions here. First question for the count. Michael, last week I saw a photo of Luke Rockhold training alongside Jason Perillo, and I was like, what the fuck, man? And I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that, because I thought it was kind of weird. And second question for both of you. Last week I also had my district tournaments for wrestling, and before every match I got super anxious, and I was just wondering if you guys get that anxiety before every time you perform, and if so, how do you guys deal with that anxiety? Thanks, guys.
Great questions.
Very, very good question. I commend him on his question asking ability. You know, I was very proud. First of all, thank you for the video. I appreciate it. What was his first question? Sorry.
He wanted to know what you thought of Perillo training Luke Rockhold.
Well, you know, I mean, the slogan goes, if you can't beat them, join them. You know, and that is what he's attempting here. I mean, Rockhold wants to emulate the great Michael Bisping, and he just can't do that. He's tried. He failed on multiple occasions, several occasions, various continents, different countries, multiple coaches. Trained at AKA, trained down at American Top Team, went all over the world searching for the best training possible. If you follow him on Instagram, you know this to be true. Eventually, he thought, I'm getting nowhere. I can't pack a punch that left up Larry. There's only one way to do this. I got to go down. I got to bite my tongue, swallow, eat some humble pie, and go and search out one of the best coaches in the world, Jason Perillo. And Jason told me this. We should get Jason on the phone, but we won't. Jason said, Rockhold went to the gym, and I'm surprised by this, and I shouldn't circle the trust, I shouldn't say this, but it's true. Rockhold went to the gym, got on his hands and knees, held the legs of Jason Perillo, and begged him to coach him, whilst in tears, snot was dribbling out of his nose. He said, I can't sleep at night. I'm getting nothing but abuse on Twitter. I have to reclaim my glory days. Help me, coach. Help me. Jason looked down and saw this mess of a human being on the floor. I couldn't help but take pity on him. Such a blithering idiot. He thought, it is my duty to help this person. And I commend Jason for that. I really do. So I'm all for it. Well done. And good luck on your road to greatness, Luke.
You told me this, and you told me specifically not to say this. And to be honest with you, you know what? I'm getting sick of you being so humble. You know, Mike, so I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, even though you said don't say this on the podcast. I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Luke Rockhold actually approached you to coach him, okay? He said, Michael, I can only learn from the best, and you were too busy. You were already turning down multiple movie roles, multiple TV show parts. You were traveling all over the world for the UFC. You said to him, Luke, I would if I could, but I can't. So here is Jason Perillo's number. I'll give you the second best coach in the world, and that's how they linked up. And I'm sorry that I spilled the beans, Mr. Bisping, but they need to know the truth out there.
That is verbatim how the conversation went. I will say this. I think, and this is a PSA, a public service announcement on behalf of Luke Rockhold. I think now the time is come. The time has come to pull back the ball busting of Luke, everybody. I see everybody every time I put a post on Instagram, a lot of the comments are directed to Luke. Luke is actually a nice guy. I'm working on a documentary right now called Built for This, Michael Bisping story. And Luke
Mike, I
was very
apologize. Mike,
actually.
Mike.
Is it something distorted? You're not hearing me right? Is it coming through weird?
Yeah, it's coming through very weird. I apologize. Give me a second though, because I want to. I just don't want to waste this moment in the show. So give me a second. Can you talk again? Because we might have to. Well, I'd rather reconnect and just edit it together the right way than have it sound shitty.
I was saying, fuck Luke Rockhold and kiss my ass. We should all talk so much shit. Is it corrected?
It sounds shitty.
I was just saying. I think everyone just now it's a PSA, it's a public service announcement. We got to take it easy on Luke. He's actually a decent guy, and we've had some fun with it. But I feel like we've come to the end of the road, the end of the journey. It's time to be sensible human beings and leave off the guy. I'm working on a documentary called Built for This, the Michael Bisping story. And Luke, very surprisingly and very maturely of him, agreed to do an interview for the documentary, which I think speaks a lot of, it speaks to the type of person he is. That impressed me. So from here on out.
Do you think he's going to say nice things? No, he's going to be like, this fucking guy. He's going to just say everything he's going to say everything he's been saying in the media for the past couple of years, but on your fucking documentary.
I hope so. No, I do, because otherwise it's just a fucking a bunch of people doing interviews, kissing my ass. We want a bit of flip. We want a bit of back and forth. We want some healthy debate. I mean, the general consensus is I'm a god amongst men. It's nice to have the occasional person saying that I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Adds a little bit of context for the viewer. But no, in all seriousness, that was very nice of him. That was very big of him to do that. So, let's just, if you want to bust his balls, leave me out of it. But Luke's an all right guy. He really is. But Lewis, the question asker, I forget his name, was asking how to deal with anxiety. I'll let you take that one, Lewis.
Sure. It's repetition. It's being there 1,000 times. There's no other way about it. And I think anxiety is probably worse for other people than it is, certain people. I had really bad anxiety every time I would get on stage, probably until I was nearly a decade into stand-up. I would feel very anxious the moment right before I walked on stage. Anytime I was in a new environment, a club that I'd never been to, if there was any issues with the microphone or the room wasn't perfect, if there was a heckler in the room, I would get really nervous and I would wear it on my face. And what happens is, now I've been to a brand new room 1,000 times. I've dealt with hecklers being in the room or a shitty microphone or whatever it is. So you have to just sort of be used to those things. And once you're comfortable, more than anything else, it's about being comfortable. If I'm going on a television show or a radio show, if I do a big podcast, I almost take a moment where I close my eyes and I imagine myself in my studio at my chair, because I'm very comfortable here. I spent a lot of time sitting at this desk talking into this microphone. So there's psychological things. Everybody sort of knows their own thing, but I think more than anything else, you have to just do it over and over and over again. And, once you've done it 1,000 times, it's just going to be another day at the office. And I think that's the only way to get over it.
Visualization, I believe, is what they call that, Lewis. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Like when I was training for a big fight in my sparring sessions, a lot of the time, what I would do is I'd close my eyes. I'd imagine walking to the octagon through the crowd. I'd imagine the judges, the referees, Joe Rogan, the commentators, everything all there, So in my mind, I would go there. So then on the night when it came to be, when I was doing it for real, mentally, I'd been there many, many times. So, then I was just going through the motions and carrying out what I hopefully did in practice. Practice makes perfect. Also, you can take solace knowing that you've prepared. A lot of anxiety can come from not preparing. I mean, could you imagine the type of anxiety that someone would have if they were to go to do a one-man show and they hadn't prepared it? Fortunately, I'm a preparing master.
Luckily.
I'm the master of preparation. Okay. No, I really am. No, it's all in the preparation. The preparation is key.
It really is. And we are kidding, by the way. Look, I think we do want to, the reason I even brought it up is because I think we like to be a little bit honest with the crowd. I'm I'm not slightly worried. I do live podcasts weekly. This is what I do weekly, and I do stand-up weekly.
This is what we do. We bullshit off the top of our head. I have a million funny stories. I'm just going to whittle them down to the funniest ones, the most relevant ones, and we're going to have a laugh with it. But I often find that a lot of our stuff is the best when we just freestyle it. But of course, people are paying good money, so we're not going to freestyle it. I want to fine tune it and make it just right. But there has to be an element of where you're going off the top of your head as well. Otherwise, a little too rehearsed. If it's a little too rehearsed, then okay. If you haven't got the ability to freestyle, if you haven't got the skill to do that, then that's not a good thing. But
you hear people talk about comedy, and this is what this is going to be essentially. I mean, it's a comedic show, right? It's going to be an hour and 15, hour and a half show that is going to be funny the whole time. And you've heard this comparison before. Maybe, I don't know if you have, but with stand-up comedy, they compare it to jazz music or jazz drums. So when you're playing a drum beat, you have your beat, right, and you stay on beat, but what you do in between the beat and it's called a fill, that's sort of how you have fun. So we have the beats of the show, and then we can kind of have our fills and have fun and improvise and do what we got to do. So really, it's a jazz show you guys are about to see.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I'm elaborating, into various art forms, stand-up comedy, acting, martial arts was one of my art forms, and now jazz. I'm a jazz musician. It's going to be now on my Instagram profile. Public figure, motivational speaker, podcaster, jazz musician.
Love it.
For all those people. And you can catch me live. What should we do? Should we wrap this one up?
We'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We'll be back on Tuesday. Special day Tuesday. We know for a fact it's not going to be Monday this week.
We will be back on Tuesday. I'm flying to Hawaii. So mahalo or aloha, which I believe is hello and goodbye. And mahalo is thank you and you're welcome, I think. But when I come back, I'll be fluent in Hawaiian or Pidgin, as I believe the locals call it. And on that note, I'll say alapakatapamba, which means go about your day in peace and love. Haleakalakala.
Haleakalakala.
Haleakala.
Haleakalakala.